Good morning and welcome to day 4 of the Mae Hong Son Loop.
Today's mission is to catch a glimpse of the long neck Karen tribe.
Hey guys, and we're off on the boat. Alright guys, so we have just made it to Mae Hong Son. We made a quick pit stop here. We're gonna get some food, have a little quick food break, and then continue on our way to the Karen Hill Tribe's village. See, this is what it was served up in. We got bagged rice and bagged chicken. Oh. Good? Yeah?
Better than KFC.
How much was it? This is what we're working with here. We got a bag of rice, literally in a bag, and then I got my chicken here, also in a bag. I guess I gotta take a bite of the chicken and then work some of the rice out. So Francis got the right idea here.
Steal a spoon from 7-Eleven. Almost like a takeaway box.
Yeah, almost like a takeaway box.
She toasted this to perfection.
Yeah, toasted to perfection, eh?
Ham and cheese croissant. So much better.
Well, no road trip is complete without a Slurpee. We're all geared up, we got our Slurpee, so let's get back onto the road. Alright guys, so we have made it to Huay Pu Keng Village. Now this is the village known for the long neck ladies. We just pulled to a point where generally there is a water taxi. For foreigners it's 20 baht and it takes you across the river into the village.
He's actually just turning around.
But I think, I don't know, the river looks really fast, but I'm not sure if this guy is just around to get us.
We didn't know if the boat was actually going to be running because the river is really fast, but this guy is like turned his boat.
Oh yeah, that guy right there, holy shit, that looks sketchy as shit.
Should we ask him if they have to stay over there to like translate?
Yeah.
So there he is guys, pulling in on the boat. Swadika. Let me show you guys just how fast this river is moving. But it does seem like we can get across because this gentleman right here just turned the boat around from the village. So we're just finding out now.
No, nowhere to sleep.
There's nowhere to sleep?
There's no homestay.
Okay.
So we can go.
No homestay, okay, okay.
Okay, so we should just leave our bags.
Three?
Three, yeah. 3, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2.
You're gonna call? Okay, he's gonna call. Maybe we have a place to stay?
Maybe.
I think that's the plan here.
If not, then we can just leave our bags up here on the bikes. I'm bringing the camera bags.
Yeah, you guys can see, look how fast this river is moving right now. And we need to go over to Huay Pu Keng's village right over there.
200.
Yeah, 200? No, no time.
No time.
He thought you were a guy.
200. 220.
220. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Okay. I get it now. I get it.
How it works is there's a 200 baht entrance fee per person. So 200 for me, 200 from Brendan, 200 for Francis, and then the fee to take the boat over is 20 baht per person. So 220 per person to get over to the village, head inside, and see if we can spot some long neck Karens.
Okay.
Time to get in this wobble squabble of a boat.
It's very wobbly.
And head out onto this fast moving river. Like, you guys can see how fast it is. Alright guys, and we're off on the boat. Really, right when we hit that patch of fast moving water, the boat just moved sideways down the river. But we're pulling up to the point now, so we've made it alive and not wet.
Alright.
Sorry, I'm not Thai.
Money? 200?
350 people.
Yeah, 200.
Yeah, 220
for each person. 100.
Thank you. And now I didn't give you guys any explanation on what the Karen is, but basically oh my god. But basically it's an ethnic tribal group that lives in the hills of Myanmar, but the ones that are in Thailand are actually refugees
from the civil wars and everything that's been happening in Myanmar. Not recent, I think it was in the 60s. So they've been here for a while.
Yeah, they've been here for a while, so we're just coming onto their village to see if we can see how they live, what their day-to-day life is, and yeah, just a new experience for us. And the thing is, and the thing is with this is we kind of just wander off into the village. There's really no reference points. There's no guidelines on where you're supposed to go.
200 baht that you pay to get in, I read, is to go back into community development. For example, things like this bridge,
Yeah.
and the school and the playing fields that we just went past. Like, it's to develop all of that, because I also read that while Thailand did let them come here as refugees, they did not give them like citizenship or like ability to work or anything like that. So they've kind of just like used their intrigue as like a tribe to generate some income. That's why,
Basically
that's
that.
why this is a thing.
But we're trying to do it the ethical way, and Francis did hear that this village, you're able to do like cooking classes, hikes around the village with them, but so far we're not really sure. We tried to avoid the villages where it felt like it was more of a human zoo and for us to come in, take pictures of all of them. So we'll see.
I do see
there's another foreigner
up
there.
here.
But so far, a very rustic vibe. So let's head further into the village and to find out what life is like here. All right, guys, so I'm here with one of the Karen women right now, and she's just chopping up some leaves or vegetables. I'm not quite sure. I have asked for permission to film her just so we can respect their privacy while we're in their village as well. But super, super cool. Let me show you guys what's going on. You guys can see right here, she's chopping up the vegetables. I believe she did say it's for the dogs. A little bit of hand gesturing, because she said it wasn't for drinking and it wasn't for eating. But you guys can see she's wearing her traditional brass around her legs. She got some stretchers in her ear, and she's just wearing her traditional clothing, and it's super, super beautiful. Super, super cool because this lady is actually not selling anything to tourists. She's actually wearing this, doing her day-to-day life, because a few other people on the main stretch where you can see them in the traditional outfits, but they are selling, so it seems a little bit more touristy. So this is really nice that I was able to just pop in here and get a more local experience. I'm like sweating so much.
So hot.
It is so hot,
and
but
it just rained, so it's like humid.
But there's an education center up here, so we're gonna go up here, learn more about the tribes, and then head back down and see if we can get a little bit more interaction with some of the people working here and living here.
This is the school. Oh,
this is a school?
yeah. So we came up to the education center, which gives us a little bit more information on who lives in the village. So it is actually majority the long neck Karens, which are actually called the Cayenne tribe. So they're the ones with like the big brass necklaces. Most of the village is them, but then there's also 4 other tribes that live here, also from Myanmar. So then there's the KR, which is like the lady that we saw when we came in with the big ears. She has like the brass around her knees and her ankles. It says they always wear pink tops and blue skirts.
Matches your vibe.
Yeah. And then you have the Pakior, or White Karen, and they're called White Karen because if they have not been married yet, they always wear white. But then after they get married, they wear black, so you can like tell who's taken and who's not, I guess. And then you've got the Kaka, who are also called the Red Karen because they always wear red. And then you have the Thai, or Thai Yai. It says that they've been in this area of Thailand for 150 years. So their culture is kind of like starting to blend with the local culture. She's got huge knives there to read.
Is it heavy?
It's so
Here, can I
heavy.
see?
Same?
Oh my god. Oh wow, how do you carry this around your neck? It's so heavy.
Oh.
I would fall. Wow. You're a strong lady. 3 kilograms.
Oh wow.
5 kilograms on their neck.
They are strong.
That's cool.
You got it?
Tade bana. Tade bana.
You're not very good at that.
It was okay. It wasn't terrible.
Sorry.
The last one, sorry. They're so nice.
They naha. Quello de naha. I don't know.
Thank you.
Oh wow, these are pretty.
So you guys can see all of these are handmade.
Oh no, some from Burma.
Some, okay. So you guys can see they sell all of these different decorations,
She makes
scarves,
all the scarves.
jewelry.
I made myself.
You made this one.
Yes.
This one's a nice one. Your brother.
Ah, your brother makes these ones.
Yeah.
The man made this.
So you can see these ones right here, guys, are just like little wooden figures of the red Karen.
Class. That's what I saw inside. You can learn to make the.
Do you know how are the classes happening still? The cooking class, the jewelry making class?
Can he make?
Maybe today not at home.
Ah, today, okay.
Go to the field.
Ah, okay.
Maybe tomorrow.
What was your name?
Mapang.
Mapang.
Yes.
Is that
Burmese.
Burmese
Yeah,
name?
Burmese name.
Ah, okay.
Are you born in Burma?
Yes,
or
I born in Burma.
Thailand?
I born in Burma.
Ah. So when did you migrate to Thailand? How many years ago?
Oh, 30 years ago.
30 years, wow.
19.
Wait, how old are you?
Oh, when I came here, 6 years old.
So you're 36 now.
30, nearly 40.
Nearly
39,
40, okay.
39 years.
You look so young.
No, no, no,
I thought maybe 30,
No.
31.
nearly 40.
Yeah, it's cool. It fits me. Should I do it?
Yeah.
Jumping.
You are friends?
Boyfriend and
Oh,
girlfriend,
boyfriend,
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, kapita. No.
Tarevana.
Tarevana. She was teaching me.
Right here. This thing's twisting and spinning. I'm not exactly sure what it's doing right now. And then right down here is where she is spinning this wheel to make these scarves. 2 days. So you have to spin this for 2 days?
Yes.
Oh,
this
wow.
one only maybe 1 hour.
1 hour?
And
Okay.
you have to weave it again.
Oh, you have to weave it by hand again. Okay, okay.
Whoa, it's so high.
Look, this is you. You see that? That's you. Wow.
Hi.
Everybody's looking.
You can see you too.
Here, let me bring it closer.
Oh man, it's so hot. We got another one.
Oh, that's all
Hi.
you guys. Look. You see that? That's you. Oh.
Tony's got a full gang with him now.
Everybody's around. Do you guys see that? Look, it's
I think they're very confused.
They're all very confused. They're like, what is this toy? Guys, that was super cool. One of the old Karens just started pulling out this very rustic wooden guitar. A handmade guitar, and she started just playing up this lovely relaxing song for us.
Yeah.
She's so sweet.
You're very cute.
Alright guys, so that was the end of our tour in the Huay Pu Keng Village.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting experience for us. A little bit touristy, but again, I don't know if we're able to get this without it being super touristy.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way really to support them without it being a little bit touristy.
And we did try to find the most like ethical one where it didn't feel like we're just coming in and it's like a zoo. So we did ask for videos and photos.
It's like a catch-22. Like you either support them and this is the only way really available, or you don't.
Or you don't.
You
But
know?
even the shops that we did take photos and videos at and we didn't buy anything, we did give them some money just to help out in whatever way we can.
It's all like this. This is the most
Doesn't feel like
ethical one
this,
that I
right?
could find. And this because they have like this community-based tourism approach. So you can do classes here normally, but I don't think they're running right now.
It's back on. Oh my god.
Are you guys coming?
To that rickety boat and I almost slid in the mud. It's a little wobbly. We're going sideways. Oh yeah. yeah, the boat goes sideways when it hits this. Look how fast that water's moving, guys.
I mean, this is kind of scary going this way.
This guy, he's smiling. He knows what he's doing. He's chilling. Yeah, I've done this a million times. Cool cap, thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. We just got our stuff packed and on the road. I'm just glad we're not on the boat in this and having to pack up our stuff in this. Oh my god.
I'm happy it's kind of the end of the day for us. We're kind of just heading back now.
Yeah, but we still haven't got anywhere to sleep.
Yeah.
There's always a coffee shop that you can just, or a gas station or a 7-Eleven, you can hide in while you book something, you know?
Guys, that was one wet and cold drive, but we pretty much drove around to all the hotels that we can find because none of them are actually on booking. And we found the cheapest one. It is 300 baht per room. And better part yet,
Funky neon lights.
we got a neon light.
It's gonna become
So when we
TikTok
turn off
people now.
when we turn off the lights, let's see how many white stains we can see.
We also have a shower in the corner of the room.
Yeah, and we also have like the most dingy shower. You basically walk in, there's a cement wall and a shower, not even cement, just a random wall right next to the bed and a shower.
But it's pretty comfy. The bed is the bed.
It's a bed.
The best thing. My first hairdryer in like,
A week,
yeah, a full week.
a full week.
Tomorrow we're gonna head to Doi Intion National Park.
It's gonna be our last day.
Our last day on the Mae Hong Son Loop. And the highest mountain in all of Thailand.
So if you don't want to miss the next episode, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. And if you enjoyed this video, again, please like and comment as it really helps us grow. And we will see you in the next episode.
You feel alive, let's hit the dance floor. Don't work too hard, my break a backbone. Return of the Mac, the king.